Shai is an incredible person. Not
Thank
only is he incredible at sales, he's written two best-selling books on Amazon, and he not only has done that, running a business, a roofing company, an exterior workout in San Diego, but on top of all of it is an incredible husband to his wife Tracy and his three daughters. So today's focus is really just helping reps and business owners truly be able to close more deals on the first call. So Shai, tell me, why is the first call or the first knock so critical in sales? Why is it always that first knock? What's so critical about that?
So there's a lot of reasons, right? And we can talk about it in terms of door knocking. We can talk about it in terms of sales, but in terms of door knocking, I mean, you're eliminating all your competition. These people weren't in the market looking for whatever service that you're offering, that you just knocked on the door and got them out of the blue. But at the same time, there's no competition. They're not on Google calling the first 3 or 5 names that pop up. So if you can hook them and create that need and urgency, then you're going to get a buying decision from them right there on the spot. And that's what makes people make a buying decision, is that you create a need, there's enough urgency, and then there's a deal that they can't pass up in order to move forward today.
I love that. Those are the best steps. Something that was told to me is your first impression is your only impression. So when we talk
100%.
about that first knock or that first phone call or whatever interaction you're having in sales, that first time is the only impression that you have. So you really got to nail it there. And like you said, just beat out the competition by being there and showing up, putting yourself out there rather than them going searching for a billion different other options. So
100%. And a lot of times they go searching for a million options and they still get screwed, right? Which is really sad. So you really want to differentiate yourself from what's out there.
yeah.
But the first knock is very different than like the first time at the kitchen table. So depending what you sell, right? Some smaller, less expensive items, it's like one knock and sale right there on the spot. Others, it's more of like making an appointment. And then the first sale is the first time you send a sales rep out to the house. And a lot of times that's going to, their impression is always going to be a bad one. And it's if you let it affect you or not, right? Think about yourself when you're on the car lot and you see the guy coming out to help you, like whether he's the nicest, sweetest man ever or whatever, you're like, oh, brother, here we go, right? You're like prepared for a battle. So, like, when you knock as a salesman and they know you're a salesman coming to the house, like, you need to protect how they feel about you. Because a lot of times people are going to put on their poker face and try and get rid of you. But it's like, really, if they're home, then it's a good lead and you got to go and pitch it.
Yeah, no, great. I love that so much. So we're talking about like your first impression and some of the things that you can bring on that first call, first knock, whatever it is. You guys, really quickly, I do want to jump to the chat. If you guys will also throw in, we know where you're from, Florida, Washington, Illinois, Alberta. We've got people from all over here, Shai. I want to know what you guys do. So are you a
Oh,
door?
what do you sell? Are you a door knocker? Are you a salesman?
And
What?
what is your position and what are you selling? Like what industry are you in? Those two things. So we know how to kind of hone in. I'd love to see kind of what area you're in. So how can, well, let's start here. Shai, what are some of the biggest mistakes that you see when people are coming into a close? What are some of those mistakes that reps are making first and foremost?
Winging it. I mean, so many people and are like, I'm just naturally born salesman, or I have a gift for gab. So it's like you have no sales process, right? And if you're a solo entrepreneur, sure, go do it, and your business is never going to get bigger. But if you're hoping to scale a company, then you need an actual sales process, right, on how to do it. Even for yourself, you need a sales process, because without a sales process, you can't have improvement, right? You're going to go and take your kids to basketball camp. They're going to teach all the kids how to hold the basketball and how to put backspin and how to release the ball. And then watching them, they can make improvements, right? But if everyone just throws the ball different, some people two-handed, backhanded, left-handed, right, then there's no system. There's nothing to coach upon, right? So I think the biggest thing is abandoning a sales system.
No, I love that so much. So we actually just did a webinar last week. It was our first masterclass, and we spoke about prospecting areas and area management. And something that I loved about it is, the top reps are those that are actually prospecting and planning out, doing Sunday planning. They
Yeah.
just like show up randomly without a plan and start knocking doors. Same goes for a close. You don't show up at somebody's kitchen table unprepared or willing to look at the process and have a dialed in process.
100%. It separates the professionals from the non-professionals, right? I always say you get praised in public for what you practice in private. Well, if you have a plan in private, you're going to go perform in public. But without a plan, you're just kind of praying and praying and wishing, really.
Yeah. Yeah, sending up a hope and here we go. I love that.
Yeah.
So, how can reps or closers at a kitchen table really gain authority right in the first couple of minutes?
I think taking lead of the conversation, right? So I think a big mistake people make is they put the homeowner on like a pedestal. It's like, oh, the homeowner is above you, the homeowner is smarter than you simply because they own a house. And I just tell all my reps, like, no, they're actually more broke than you because they have a mortgage and you don't, right? So they're further in debt. So try and make the more of a level playing field. And depending on what homeowner you get, you're going to behave different because there is the homeowner that comes out with that dog bark, that old grumpy man who wants to be in control. And I actually tell our reps the first 5 minutes, let them be in control. If you try and take control from them, you're just going to have conflict, and conflict doesn't lead to sales, right? One of the old rules is if they don't like you, they're not going to buy from you. So when you watch like Wicked Tuna and you watch people catch these 100-pound tunas, like the minute the tuna grabs the hook, you don't start fighting it, you just let it run, right? So if you get this grumpy old man, I just let him run, let him tell me how to do my job. And then 5 minutes later, that's when I'm going to take control. Like, oh, Herbert, I heard you. We're going to make it happen for you. Let's sit down. Let me ask you a couple questions and see if we're a good fit for each other. And then I'm going to start and taking control. But again, I'm going to have my questions organized. I know what I'm going to ask. I see a lot of reps, especially at the beginning. They're like, it's just talking to people. So they're like, hey, how are you? Oh, how long have you owned the house? And they run out of stuff to say. And like 2 minutes later, like, Jessica, how long have you owned the house? And then a few minutes later, like, how long have you lived here? Because like they're just like grabbing for whatever they can find instead of actually having a system of what to go through the process.
Yeah. And you talk about like, you guys not seeing eye to eye or not liking each other. Something that they always say is finding agreements.
Of
Get
course.
that's to something right out the gate and in the beginning. So you guys are on the same field, you're in agreement with each other. I love that. We're talking about the system and the framework. Shai, give me some kind of like basic steps within your framework that really is going to get these guys the close right away.
So I don't think it's ever right away, right? To do one call close sales is about 2.5, 3 hours, especially for high ticket items, right? But some of the things I think are necessary, one is setting the stage or a pre-frame, letting these people know that you're going to actually ask for their business. Because a lot of these appointments are set up as free inspections, and then you try and close them at the end, and then the homeowner feels like it's a bait and switch, and it's kind of dirty. Right. So I flat out tell them, Jessica, here's what to expect today. I'm going to tell you about myself and the company so you're comfortable doing business with us. I'll show you the materials we use and how we install it, and then I'll give you a price in writing. And when I'm done, you got to ask yourself, do you like me and my company, the benefits we have to offer? Is our material what you want? And most importantly, is it comfortably affordable for you and your family? The answer is yes. I'm here to take your order today. If not, we'll shake hands and part as friends. So like now they know I'm going to ask for the order. A lot of times now they're going to give you their objection 2 hours beforehand so you know what you're up against. They're going to tell you, oh, we always get 3 bids. Sure, no problem. And you move on, right? So I think setting the stage is really important to get a sale. I think the inspection is what sells the entire job, whether it's a roof job, whether it's a paint job, whether it's a window job, whether it's pest control. Like if you have a good inspection and in your inspection, you tell third-party stories of people that were in a similar situation as these people, and they understood the urgency, and here's what they paid with a little price conditioning, and here's a tie-down question, then you're like really moving the goalpost forward. And then it's really, you got to talk about your company and not how amazing your company is, because everyone talks about how great their company is. Really, what you got to talk about is how horrible the space is, because contractors have a bad rep, and most homeowners cringe when you say the word contractor because they've either been taken advantage by one or know someone that has. So talk about the space and what makes you different from the original space, not how great you are.
Find your for sure.
And then at the end, it's creating a deal. They want to make them feel like they're getting something they're not supposed to get. But it's this equation of all these things that added together that's going to equal a one call close sale.
Yeah, I love that so much for sure. Okay, how can a closer or a rep really like handle these objections without pushing too hard when these objections do come out throughout the sell?
Yeah. So everyone wants to talk about closing. I'm like, yeah, let's talk about the beginning. And they're like, no, I want to talk about closing. I'm like, okay. But I start closing from the beginning, right? Here's the thing. We already know all the objections. I need to think about it. I need to get other bids. I have to shop around, think about it, other bids, talk to a third party. Too expensive. I have no money, other priorities, and not now. Every objection you hear is going to fall in these 7 objections. So if I'm going to know they're going to get other bids, I'm going to start eliminating other bids, talking about the industry standard and how we're different and make you rattled to want to go look at other bids, right? If you find a good mechanic in town, you're not going to go see there's another good mechanic. You're always going to do business with him, right? So I want to make myself seem different from everyone else, right? I want to talk about people who went cheap and then regretted it, right? The Better Business Bureau, the number one complaint with the Better Business Bureau is against contractors. 85% of the people that reported putting a bad review against contractor also said they went with the cheapest bid, right? So why wouldn't you go with the cheapest bid? Because people are just going to find the labor and the material to match the lowest bid. And that's not what you deserve on your hard-earned home, right? So long story short, I like to eliminate all the objections during the presentation so that all you can tell me is money. Because if you agree it's money and I agree it's money, we can negotiate. We can put a yard sign, we can do a marketing home, we can do different things to lower the price and get you to buy today. We can do monthly installments. But I don't like the arbitrary, I need to think about it, right? That's like you should have killed that with your inspection, right? If you do a good inspection, they're not thinking whether they need to buy a roof or not, right? They know they need a roof. If you did a good company story, they're not thinking about whether to hire you or not. Like, so then you peel the onions on, think about it, and you get the homeowner realize it's really money, right? If the homeowner tells you want to get other bids, it's like, great. Are you looking for a better product or a better price? Well, we love the product. We want a better price. So now you get them to realize it's about money and the fear of not being embarrassed that they're overpaying, right? So once you can get them to admit money, and if you have this 2.5 hour presentation with the warm up and the rapport building, then you like me enough that in 2.5 hours, I can throw everything back in your face because I've earned that right in our relationship to do that.
Right.
So
That's
it's very much a system. I know it's very long winded, but like I teach 10 steps. And if you take out step 2, you're not going to close. And if you take out step 4, you're not going to close. Like you need to do all 10 steps to get the close.
Yeah, they're all key components, but such a key component is actually presenting them and overhandling the objections in setting the expectations so that when you get there, there is no objection.
100%. When reps are desperate and they haven't sold in a long time, all they want to do is like, how fast can I present? Because I need to pass price to see if I'm going to close. Oh man, I knew I wasn't going to close. Well, it's because you rushed everything and now you have commission breath and you're just rushing the process. You're skipping important steps. You're never going to close. And then once they get over it and they go back to the system and slow down, then it's like, oh man, I'm closing again. So to me, it's like every objection, we always ask our reps, like, hey, what was the highest price? What was the lowest price? What was the objection? And I can tell just by looking at the objection and how much time they were in house, what they didn't do as part of the steps, right? Everything has a cause and effect.
For sure. Shai, are your guys's model, is it like setting and closing, or is it just showing up, knock, one call, close on
No,
the
so we have setters and then we have closers, right? So the setters also have only one chance to close too. For them, it's all about the education to the homeowner. And people don't do things because they have problems. People do things to avoid the consequences of what those problems are. So I have more fun training the door knockers than I do the sales reps. It's a much faster pitch, you know?
For sure. No, I love that. Shai, so in doing all of this, I'm just wondering deep down, when did you decide to start like, oh, I want to write a book, I want to train on this, get really passionate about all of the closing?
So I've always liked the coaching aspect of it for years. Tracy, my wife, has been telling me I should be doing this for 15 years. And then there was a time when I broke up with an old business partner and I wasn't sure what to do. And I had some downtime. And like the first book was started, but it was like 4 pages that sat there for years. And then we were in Utah at one of the door-to-door events. And David, what's Computer David's last name?
Dotson.
David Dodson is talking to me. I'm like, yeah, I started a book once. He's like, when are you going to finish it? I'm like, I don't even know you, dude. And you're like, challenge me. He like called me out and I'm like, okay, I'll finish it. And then I wrote it like 2, 3 months later. So I actually owe it to David Dodson that the book got finished.
The best thing I've ever heard. I love
Yeah.
it. He'll call you out. We'll push you for sure.
But yeah, and now it's just like I love the coaching. I've always had, 20, 30 reps, but it's like through the coaching, I get to like now coach thousands of people, and that's the goal, like to make massive impact and help other people and watch them grow. And it's just really fun. So
Art and such a skill set. So to be able to coach and share that with everyone, it's needed for sure. We're talking about coaching reps and how can reps to not be scared to ask for the close.
um you got to show them an empty check, right? Show them a blank check, what it looks like. And that's what your check's going to look like if you don't ask for the close. I always tell my reps, like when you're closing, like the presentation's 2 hours. Closing someone on one call close can also be an additional 2, 3 hours. It's not like a big arm wrestle contest and it's over and you win. Like it can take time. And I'm like, every time you want to leave, I want you to put your hand in your empty pocket and then stay for another 20 minutes. And if you're thinking about leaving, put your hand in your pocket and stay another 20 minutes, right? Obviously tactfully, but no one has ever volunteered a sale. Like you can ask thousands of sales reps. No homeowners like, hey, do you have a ballpoint pen so I can sign your paperwork? Like, yeah, it's always you're always asking for it, and it's a tactful way. It's like, hey, Jessica, are we doing the deposit on a credit card or a check? Right? Hey, Jessica, sign here, press hard. There's 2 copies. Right? Hey, are you guys doing option A or option B? Like I'm always asking for the order because no one ever volunteers it.
Right.
And believe it or not, some of the times you don't sell because what you just said, you just don't ask for the order.
Don't ask. Yeah, I see it all the time where they're like, I'm just not closing. I just don't understand. And it's like, well, yeah, did you even ask? You
Yeah.
never asked. So you got
I've even trained people, Jessica, at the very end of the whole thing to be like, look, I'm gonna go home. I'm gonna be thinking about you. My wife's gonna ask me about the appointment. She's gonna tell her that you guys didn't buy. Out of curiosity, what should I tell her? Why? Because my wife, she's gonna go, why? And I'm like, what should I tell her? And whatever they say right then and there, that's the truth. And now you're back into closing. Like they think it's over and you're like waving the white flag. And now you're back in it because it's this push pull. It's an equilibrium of like pressure on, pressure off, pressure on. If you're just pressure, 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 like I hate your guts.
to
Get out
back
of my
down.
house.
They hate
Yeah,
you.
get out of my house. I hate you. Right. But with this tactful equilibrium, like I'm gonna go home. I'm gonna tell my wife how sweet you guys are and everything. And then she's obviously gonna ask me if you guys bought anything. And I'm gonna tell her no. And she's gonna ask me why. What should I tell her, Mr. Jones?
Yeah.
Like,
Let it
oh,
not
tell
be
her it
that
was
you
too
didn't ask.
expensive. Tell her it was too expensive. Okay, I'll tell her that. And what should I tell her? That we're like 200, 300, $400 off. And that's such a ridiculous number that people are like, no, you're like
Yeah,
$4,000
that
off.
would be crazy.
You're like 4,000 off. You're like, so you mean to tell me if we were $4,000 lower, we would be writing up an order? And now you're like back in negotiations of like
Yeah.
taking out work or changing material or doing whatever you need to do, but like you're back into negotiations of getting a one call close.
That's so good. That's so good. I love it. Shai, since we're on the Repcard webinar, I want to talk about some of the tools that you guys utilize. I know you use Repcard, maybe some of the other tools that you guys are utilizing to help you make sure that you're following this process and closing these deals.
Sure. So Repcard, number one, all our canvassers use it. It's not optional, like it's mandatory to use Repcard. If you're an owner, you get a really good picture of what's happening out in the field, right? If you're a manager, you get a picture of your people and what's happening and what to coach on, right? There's coaching and then there's results-based coaching. Results-based coaching is way more effective, right? So if you see they're talking to a lot of people and not closing, now like you're taking
They're in the process, they're messing up.
right. You're taking away the excuses because the number one excuse of a door knocker is, oh, low contact today. Oh, low contact today. It's like, no, if we look at it, you actually talked to like 35 people and you didn't close any of them. So let me hear what you're telling these 35 people. Like, what objections did they give you? What was your rebuttal to their objection? Okay, let's role play this stuff, right? So Repcard's like our number one source. Slack for communication. We use a lot of Slack. Every single lead gets put into Slack. real live confirmation because leads generate more leads. If other guys know that other guys in the field in the same neighborhood are getting leads, like they need to get leads. We put the
It's
sales on.
contagious. It's like a smile's contagious. The enthusiasm is contagious. The sales and leads are contagious.
Yeah,
Everything
it's an
grows.
energy business. It's an energy business. We have Slack channels for door knockers. We have Slack channels for sales. The sales one starts at about 6 a.m. People posting quotes and pictures of the gym and things like that. And when I know, like when the Slack is humming at 7, 8 in the morning, you're like, dude, we're doing
It's gonna be a
150,
good
200
day.
grand. Yeah. And when the Slack is quiet, you're like, hello, anybody out there? Can someone post something? Like, and you
Yeah,
get generated. But this is 100% an energy-based business, and whatever you can do to create more energy is huge, right? Like this week, I've been doing all kinds of contests. Like I did a bingo game for my door knockers.
so fun.
Simple like 2 next day roofs appointments confirmed, a next day cool wall, 2 confirmed leads in the same hour, a roof next day. So we're doing that this week.
Scavenger hunts that we do, the bingo games, the
Look, there's a bingo one, right?
business.
Um, so it's all the energy stuff. We took guys to a steak dinner last night for competing and getting 100K in sales last month as door knockers. So
Yeah,
always doing stuff to keep the culture and the energy super high.
right. And it seems silly. Like we always say, these little games seem silly, but they're not. The little things actually are the big things that keep that energy flowing. Shai, what are some things that you guys do whenever maybe the energy is lower in the chats? How are you guys chiming in and making that come from the top down?
So I will do one-off chats, like I'll post in the chat and then I'll text one of my reps like, "Hey bud, I need you to chime in right now." Right? And then I'll go to another one and I'll get 2 or 3 of them and tell them, you start the propaganda going and then all of a sudden it's like back live, right? Or sometimes we'll do a sound off. Tyler, myself will write like, "Guys, I need everyone to check in here and write, I can close anyone, anywhere, anytime." And then you get 14 guys. I can close anyone, anywhere, anytime. I can close anyone, right? And now it's like, oh, energy's back up. We do a lot of that. And then sometimes you just got to call your people and see what's going on that you don't know about. Cause, they always nod yes in the meetings. And then there's the meeting outside the meeting that to see how they're all
Always.
feeling. So whenever we have big things, big announcements, a lot of times, we will have one-on-ones with guys and get them on our side before you go to the masses. You got to get some disciples in there.
Yeah, no, love that. Talking about, Repcard and tools and automations, are you guys using a lot of these automations to follow up with your clients?
So we use Monday.com. I get to take zero credit for it. It's all Tyler. He's put, I don't know, 40,000 hours into it, 8 years of building this thing. And we have a lot of automations once you are a client.
Yeah,
Like 3 days after you buy a roof, you're gonna get automated text messages for insulation and gutters,
yeah,
right? 2 days before your project starts, you're gonna get automations of copy of your work order and reminders.
yeah,
Automated surveys at the end. The day you sign up, you get a thank you card and an ebook from us about taking care of your home and keeping the planet green. So we have automations that way. As far as like leads that we don't sell, we have a telemarketing room, and those girls are pounding the phone to the leads
love
that
it.
we don't get to go out and pitch.
Love that. I love so much that you're talking about these automated things that are going out to people that you did close. That really is the flywheel right there that we can keep it spinning. If you can do these follow up, give them a thank you card, make them feel like the experience was great, the white glove experience, and then really they're going to offer you a referral, which is what you can do through Repcard as well. Send them your digital business card, say thanks for your business, whatever that is. And right there, there's a button that says send us a referral. And
Yeah.
that's the next flywheel. That's one more extra step. It's going to spin that entire flywheel around one more time.
100%. I recommend, I mean, we do the digital thank you with their thing.
Love it.
Every Tuesday when our sales reps are here, we hand out thank you cards that we have made and they have to hand write them.
That's
And then we
awesome.
send them out for them so they get a handwritten one. And we encourage our reps to stop by within 3, 4 days of the sale and drop off Ferrero Rocher or a bottle of wine or cookies or bird seed if they have like anything just to stay active in these people's mind. for us, the average customer buys at least 2 products from us because we sell a lot of exterior products and they're complementary.
Yeah.
So back to like the whole mechanic, if you find a good mechanic, you're not going to look for other ones. Like
You're
if
going to
your
keep
company
returning.
offers, if you offer multiple services, be the one that they do all those services with.
Yeah.
And then referrals. I don't know where I saw this recently. I don't know if Sam posted it, Ashton Buzz, someone posted it, but you will get more referrals giving people $25 now than the promise of $500 later,
Later.
right? So if you're confident in yourself and they give you 4 referrals, if it costs you $100, like I'm sure you're going to close 1 of 4 at the minimum, and that'll your commission will outpace that $100, 100-fold.
So worth it. The payback is unbelievable. You mentioned Ashton Buswell, and I got thinking about the handwritten notes. If you guys know Ashton Buswell, you've probably received a handwritten letter from the man. I've received multiple. Everyone has received something from Ashton, and that's something that he preaches. There you go.
There's
The guy is just so genuine and so real, but I've learned so much from him on not just like building a rapport, sharing a smile with people, connecting, but really that taking the next step, a handwritten note goes so far.
Yeah,
So
it changes the frequency. People are like, that guy's so lucky, that guy's so lucky. These people are creating their own luck that you don't know about.
yeah,
And you can't,
that
don't
it's that
put
work
a
behind the
shade on the work they're doing that you don't see.
Yeah, it's that work behind the scenes that we spoke about that
Yeah.
you don't see it, but it's there for sure. So, um, okay, yeah, going back a little bit to culture, and we talk about this high energy and where sales are coming from. Shai, how can sales leaders create a culture where reps are confident in closing? What type of like pitch practice or pitch offs do you guys do to really make them confident on the doors?
I mean, we do a 2-week training just to get started. And we do a sales meeting every Tuesday, and we try and do some kind of role play in that meeting. Like this week alone, we put up our company story slides, and it's like you go, you do the next page, you do the next page, and we give each other feedback. But like you have to force your reps to practice because they're always going to tell you that they practice. I always joke, like, what'd you practice for your girlfriend? Your girlfriend said, "Oh my God, honey, you're amazing. We're going to be rich." And she doesn't know the pitch and she's just supporting you. But if you like practice to someone in the company that knows the pitch, you're going to be like, you forgot to tie down. You didn't tell a third party story. You don't have price conditioning, right? Like practice to someone that actually has the eye to help you and get better. I was writing about today, I posted on a couple Facebook groups, money making activities, what to do in between leads. And someone wrote practice, and I agreed with him. And the guy's like, "Oh, I practice on my next lead." And I know he's just being a smart ass, but it's like a lot of people think that the practice is on the leads. Like, dude, I pitch 3 times a day. I'm like, no, but that's game time. That's not practice. LeBron James still
That's the
practice,
key.
right? So I recommend a lot of practice. Have people come in and pitch each other. You listen to people pitch. What else do we do? Like, we also send our reps in doubles. A lot of companies I find out they don't do that, but like we send a lot of reps to a house so they can learn off each other and they take each other's one-liners and take each other's stories.
Yeah.
And a lot of times, when one rep's not in the mood, the other one is in the mood. Monday at the meeting, one of our reps, Jesse, he's like, "I'll be honest, I almost blew out this lead. I didn't feel it, but Bergen, he was in the mood and Bergen started pitching and then they sold it for $84,000. And if Jesse would have been alone, we wouldn't have gone that sale. He would have left that."
Right. No, that's such good perspective. I love that. And being able to take some criticism, like guys, we're here to better ourselves and to work on that. So you can't just keep pitching to your spouse who's cheering you on. You got to pitch to somebody that's really really willing to hear you out, listen, knows their stuff, give you some critical feedback.
Absolutely. And one of the best ways to get people to realize they need help is to go over their numbers, right? Men and women lie, numbers don't. And we track how many leads you get every single week and how many no demos you have and how many no shows, how many one legs, how many resets, how many pitch misses, how many reloads, how many referrals, right? So when you have data, like it's very hard to argue against the data.
Yeah, and along with that data, what we've been teaching companies is that you can have all the data in the world. If you're not utilizing the data to make decisions or to give that coaching, that's where in the data is where we can analyze it to find where you're missing out on parts or pieces of the process.
Yeah,
So,
it's all about getting people on base.
no, for sure. I love that. Let's jump down just a little bit. I want to go over, Shai, what are the meat and potatoes of what they're going to get out of your books? Like what is in both of your books? Talk to us about those and what are they going to learn inside of them?
Sure. In-home sales is the exact training if you worked for me. Like we tell people to buy the book before they come to training and they show up with the book and they're like, Shai, you're like lying for, I'm like, yeah, it's my book. It's my lines,
Yeah.
right? So it's like, if you want to learn how to, the 10 steps to one call close, like it's there, step 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, everything's there. The door knocking script, the confirmation script, the lines to the pitches are there. How I negotiate pricing is there, like just step 1 through 10 and a little bit about who I am as a person. The 5 minute door knocker also has our scripts, and it has objection handling with rebuttals. It has a lot of mindset, a lot of morning routine. The reason I love the 5 minute door knocker is because I think 300 pages of it is a journal. So there's daily journaling of what are you grateful for in the morning, personally and professionally? How many leads are you going to get today, and what will make today great? And then when you at the end of the day, it's how many leads did you get? How many sales did you get? What made today great? What are you grateful for again? And there's a habit tracker. Did you role play? Did you work out? Did you read? Did you journal? And there's a blank for you to add one. And then it has a weekly summary and then it has a monthly summary. And the weekly and the monthly make you do your numbers. So how many leads did you get this week? How many of are this month? How many demoed, right? Because a lot of people want to make money and they just throw out random numbers. But if you can pick a target and reverse engineer it with this is how many leads I need to get, because when I get, 20 leads, I end up getting 9 pitches. And when I get 9 pitches, I end up getting 3 sales. Now, like you can actually figure out your goals instead of just, oh, I'm going to work hard. Working hard doesn't do anything, right? You need like to reverse engineer the numbers.
Yeah, you got to reverse engineer it and set up that plan that we were talking about earlier. Without the plan, failing to plan is planning to fail. You are
100%.
going to fail if you don't have a plan. And then I'll kind of back that up. Like, we set goals at the beginning of every year in January. And at the end of that year, it's like, oh, did we do our goals? Did we not? I don't know. We jump straight into the next January. We set new goals. And without that analyzing maybe the data or how we did, it's the same as what you're saying, being able to track. Did I go to the gym? How many sits did I have? How many closes did I have? Really taking time to self-reflect on how the week went. I'm such a huge believer in Sunday planning.
100%.
Up, and then that following Sunday, I'm going to analyze how did my week go? I'm going to reflect upon that so that I can set myself up. Maybe I need to improve in a certain area so that I'm moving forward that next week. I'm going to shift what I'm doing.
Yeah, awareness, the lack of awareness creates a lack of success. The most successful people have the most self-awareness.
Yeah, that's good. So good. And just being willing to change, you guys, so many of us want to have a change, but you got to sit with that and feel that pain before the change can really happen. So
Absolutely.
self-aware and feeling the pain of staying the same has got to be greater than changing in order for us to change.
Yeah.
So
And you got to have a really deep why. Because what ends up happening is you hump yourself up. You're like, today is going to be different. You go knock on the door and people are like, we're not interested. You're like, man, today's just like yesterday. I thought today was going to be a good day. No one was going to give me objections. It's like, no, you were hoping for that. So like, but if you have a big enough why you're doing this, then it's going to get you through it.
oh, yeah, I love that. Going back to your why, and also, we talk about setting up a homeowner for expectations. We need to set ourselves up with those expectations of how it's really going to be. It's not just rainbows and butterflies out on the doors. It's going to be a tough day. You're going to get your teeth kicked in a couple times, but we know that, if you get a no, you're just one step closer to the next yes.
100%.
Talk to me a little bit more about mindset, Shai. I think that's something that's kind of toyed around with. Some people think that like, oh, these guys are babies or, it's just go get repetitions, knock the door, go to the next cell. But mindset is a big piece of that. And that's
100%. I mean, it's 90%. I tell people this job is 90% mindset. Your self-talk is going to determine what your day looks like. If you're going to be out there, I hate this neighborhood, they're all broke, no one has money, like the temperature is going to feel 10 degrees warmer, the day is going to feel 10 times longer, it's going to be awful, right? But if you're just like, I can close anyone, anywhere, the next door, I'm closing, and you have like just this gun-ho attitude, like the day goes very quick, you're very successful, right? The interactions are different because you're releasing a different frequency and aura to people around you, right? And it just, I think the mindset's 100%, right? And that's like where the journaling comes in the morning, right? Like, there is no stronger emotion than being grateful. So if you could real quick write down three things you're grateful for personally and three things you're grateful for professionally, like you're setting the tone for the day. And it's a lot easier said than done. I have days I don't feel like doing it, but it's like once you create a habit, right? And you say, I'm going to journal every morning before my feet hit the ground. I put this on my nightstand, right? Like James Clear stuff, Atomic Habit, the what, the when, where, how. So it's like you set yourself up for success. Like then it's just like one win stacks against another win, and then you're having great days. But
For
this job is 90% mental.
That's awesome. It's
And you
so
got to separate you as a human and you as a salesman because when we're not selling as salesmen, then like the food tastes bad, my home life is bad, children are everything goes awful, and you got to separate those two together, which is easier said than done for some.
great advice. Great advice. Shai, you're somebody that lives this lifestyle. I know that you're journaling. I watch it on the back end. I know some of what you do. What are some of the other things you do to make sure that your mindset is good to go and you're setting yourself up for success every day?
Um,
Outside of your, three things you're grateful for.
Yeah, I mostly like I try and spend some time with the girls in the morning, right? Because they're the reason I do everything. So if I can be up and help with the lunches and the mayhem that is the morning, even though it's sometimes mayhem, it's like getting kids for school, but you're still with them, right? Time with the wife, I try Tracy and I like some nights someone falls asleep, so you try and talk in the morning, right? But like the connection with the wife. Like this morning, I didn't work out, but I'm like, I got to do something. So I sauna and I ice bath. Right. So you're not always going to get to do everything that you want to do, the prayer, the journal, the reading, the 20 minutes of this, the 20. So, but you got to do something. Right. I like the ice bath because it's like, that's a shock to the system, so it happens really quick and the cortisol levels go up and the dopamine rushes. But to me, it's just like the bigger picture. I know my why. I know why I do it. So I don't really need the daily motivation as much as I once did.
Yeah. No, I love that for sure. And we're just so interconnected, everything like from our spiritual to our physical body to our mental health, like it all correlates and is all connected. So that I love those things are all important to be able to work it on our mindset, get some motivation, focus on what we're thankful for, we have gratitude for, taking care of our bodies. It all plays into it for sure. Um yeah, so Shai, I want to leave some time for you. Anything that you want to touch on, and then we're going to jump over to some questions and a couple last minute things. But anything you wanted to share with us today in our audience about you and about the One Call Close Academy, anything about that, please share with us.
I mean, I invite everyone to join the One Call Close Academy. It's a free Facebook group. I try and post on there every day. Other people post on there. If you are interested in more closing and coaching, I do a live call every Tuesday at 4 o'clock Pacific. It's called the Closer's Edge. It's a Zoom call. You can sign up monthly for it, which we have a lot of fun and we do some role playing on it. But other than that, it's the books are great. A lot of people have said the books are great. The in-home sales one's on Audible now. It almost sounds like me. It's AI Shai reading, so it almost sounds like me. But more than anything for me, it's if I can help you, reach out. Like that is my new high in life is empowering ordinary people to achieve extraordinary results. And like I love the messages of other people winning because of things I shared with them and stuff like that. So that's my high right now is just serving the greater good.
So good. You're sure it says abundance, and I feel that from you. Like that's where you're going to find abundance is living out your purpose and helping other people. And I think when we get to that step in life, when we just want to help those around us, we live such a full life. So what a purpose. It's awesome. What's
Guys, I'm telling you, make visual aids to help people see what's going on. I just you can find them on my website too, but I just made like sales slicks for roofing, right? And it's like before pictures. So when you go and you're talking about something to a homeowner, they know what it is you're talking about because you think they know the vocabulary you're saying, but they have no idea what a blown out ridge cap is or fiberglass on their mesh or
their
anything that you guys
ventilation?
are talking about. So show it to them. If you do lighting, show someone a before and after of a picture, you know, and have a couple. Because the other beautiful thing is when you grab a sales stick and you put it in a homeowner's hand, they can't close the door in your face. So it buys you more time.
Yeah, they have something of yours. I love that too. A huge piece of your job is just education. You got to educate them. They don't know, and you can't expect them to know what we know. We're experts in the industries for sure. Shai, I'm impressed with everything that you do and everything that you are. You're an
I
incredible
appreciate it.
father and husband and business owner. And thanks for jumping on and just sharing your knowledge and wisdom with us. We sure appreciate it here at Repcard, and everyone that's on the call I know appreciates it as well.
I appreciate you and Brad so much, and it's nice to see you.
Good to see you too. We'll talk soon.
Later.
See you guys.